With the new Havenhythe update, there came 2 new bosses into the game. And I think they're cool, but I don't want to focus on them now. Because we want to take a look at one other extension that came to the game, which is basically Big Game Hunter 2.0. Because we got some new things to hunt in the Big Game Hunter minigame with the giant Chinchompa and the giant Kebbit. And in this video, I want to show you how these work, because they are actually pretty simple, especially when you have done Big Game Hunter before. It is really easy, and there are some really insane money at the moment. So buckle up, leave a like, subscribe, and now let's head right into it. So the quickest way to get here, I think, is through the boss portal of Ivar, which brings you right to this new boss that came into the game. And then you're exactly at the cave of the hill giants. And all you gotta do is just run down into the cave. And as soon as you enter the cave, you are basically in the area where the new Big Game Hunter encounters are located. Here we have on top the one of the Chinchompas, and on the bottom the one of the giant Kebbits. So how do they actually work to get some kills done? It is actually pretty simple. So let me start with the giant Chinchompa. If you have done Big Game Hunter before, I think a lot of things will be similar, yet there are some new mechanics. But in general, it's pretty easy, and all you gotta do is you need some raw sharks. For every kill, you need 1 raw shark, and you need a butterfly net. Butterfly nets you can buy at the Grand Exchange, or down here, I think this one here is a hunter trader. This one will also sell you one. So now I start the encounter. I can choose which difficulty I want, basically, or which one of the Chinchompas I want to farm. For me, it's just the giant one, because I am only level 100 in hunter. So I start at yes, I am ready, and then we are in the arena. Here we have a few things. We have logs, we have ropes, we have these hollow trees, we have the traps that we have to build, and we have the skeletons. And I think this is one of the mechanics that I want to show you at first, because as soon as you step on a skeleton, you will make a sound and the Chinchompa will run right here. Then it will basically sniff, the aggression goes up by 5, and it will charge towards you. So it's really important that when you are stepping on one of those skeletons that lies around, that you instantly go into a bush, because otherwise it will find you. Even if I just dash back here, you will see it sniffs right there, and now it will come for my ass, and only if I go into a bush I am able to basically survive. Okay, so how does the game actually work? It's pretty simple. You need to farm or take some of the logs that you have in the log pile. You obviously have to take some ropes that you have in this rope pile, basically. And then you have to build some traps, and you have to get the health bar of the Chinchompa to 0. So we built the trap. So first you have to build it, then you have to set it, and after that the trap is fully ready to kill. But we need a bait, so the Chinchompa runs here. This is also pretty simple done. You go to a hollow tree, and there come these butterflies out, and then you have to catch them. And you see that there are 3 different colors actually, and there is always one color that will deal 30,000 damage. There is one color that will deal 7,500 damage, and one that deals 15,000. So the first thing we have to do is find out which color is actually the best at the moment. So I just start out randomly and throw the green one here to my trap. The Chinchompa will come here, and with another press I will set the trap, and the Chinchompa gets damaged. In this case we were really lucky, because the green one is actually the right one. So it's actually the one that does the 30k damage. So just so you can see, you can also be a little bit more unlucky and have the wrong bait first. So for example, when I set this trap right here and I throw now the blue one, we again wait for the Chinchompa, and then we trigger the trap, and you can see that this one only did 7,500 damage. Okay, so now we know which one is the right color for this hour. It's indicated also in your buff bar. You can see that it's the poison moth, the green moth. So now let's actually farm this encounter, and I will do this by resetting it. I let him catch me in this case, and then we quick start a new encounter, and I will show you a full kill on how I do it. So first of all, you obviously go to the ropes and the logs, and you take out enough material to build enough traps. So you always need 1 log and 2 ropes per trap. You need 3 traps in total, and you have to build this with 2 logs and 2 ropes. So basically 8 ropes and 5 logs, if I'm not completely wrong, is enough to build everything that you need. Then after that, I basically just start building and setting all the traps. And I think it's really important you do build and set up all the traps first, because as soon as you start damaging the Chinchompa, his radius of being able to catch you will also increase. So when you just start building one trap, doing damage, building it again and stuff, you will definitely have a hard time. Especially also because when you trigger a trap and you deal damage to the Chinchompa, it will also burn some of the grass that is nearby, which means that you have less chance of escaping the Chinchompa. And therefore, the first thing I always do is build all the traps, because this makes my life way simpler. I then also build the one in the middle, so I can end the fight after I did enough damage. And what I do next is I get the moths, and be careful, because as soon as you start searching the hollow tree, the Chinchompa will basically charge right here. It will instantly run here and then try to eat all the moths. So just be quick, catch the moths you need, and then you will see the Chinchompa will run right here, and then it will, basically consume all the moths that are still there. So now that we got the traps and we got the moths, we start dealing some damage. So we have set up a trap right here. I throw the green moth, then I wait until the Chinchompa is there, trigger the trap, and do 30k damage. I immediately run to the next trap, do the same thing right here. So you can see it runs straight towards me, and now I again trigger the trap, do 30k damage, and lastly I also do this at this trap right here. Boom. As soon as the Chinchompa is at 0 health points, all we gotta do is basically just set the bait in the middle. And what I really like to do for this is just open up a hollow tree, let the moths out. Now the Chinchompa will basically instantly run to that tree, and I always look that this one is really far from the middle. So all I gotta do is just wait a bit. Now the Chinchompa runs to the tree, will spend some time there, and I have easy time to basically put the bait in. And this was the whole encounter. And the Chinchompa, will basically get caught in the middle, and we can start looting it for some juicy XP and some juicy loot. So as you can see, this whole thing was pretty easy. If you want to do more kills, you can now just quick start again to the whole encounter from the beginning one more time. And you also still have the same moth, because this one basically is the color that you have to choose for an hour straight. But for us, we will now leave this encounter, because we will look at the second one of the Kebbits. And I gotta say, I think the second one is maybe even the simpler one. All you basically need for the Kebbits is you either need some Grenwall spikes that you can farm or buy in a Gren exchange, or you can also just take a box trap with you. You have the level when you are able to do that big game hunter. You can technically just farm one right here, just put down a box trap and then wait for it to come into that trap. Or you can also do this in the encounter, by the way. It doesn't really matter. So in my case, I start the encounter. I take the giant Kebbit at level 98. For this, we basically need some raw Chinchompa meat, by the way. And as soon as we are in the encounter, you see that basically the game works the same in general, but this time you have 2 of these Kebbit. One that always runs in the middle, and the other one that runs on the outside of the arena. It's just really important that you be careful, because you can see that the aggression scales from both. So when you get hit 5 times by one and then 5 times by the other, it will be 10 times and you will get out of the arena. You basically will die and lose your kill. So now I have set up my box trap, and you can see that one of the Grenwall just jumped in. So I can now basically clear my box and get some Grenwall spikes, which is really important. And now we basically do the same as before. We first start with collecting some rocks. I actually think you only need 1 or 2, not even more. And then we collect a lot of the logs. What we're then gonna do is basically the same. We now gotta find out which color is the right one to choose, because we have to build a trap just like that, and then we have to choose a Grenwall spike with the right color. So for example, here we have the luminous mushroom, which will give us some green Grenwall spikes. Down here are the blue ones, and here the purple ones. So now I have the green. I put the green on the trap, and now you can see that the trap is green. And all you gotta do now, and this is actually pretty simple, is you gotta press on the big Kebbit to to lure it. As soon as you do that, the big Kebbit will start running towards the trap, and the little one will also come out of the nearest cave that is behind you. So be careful to quickly do that. So basically lure the Kebbit and then instantly run or dive away. So let me just lure him and dive away, because you can see this one spawns right here and the one runs into my trap, and it was actually the worst one. It only did 7,500 damage. So I build up the trap again, and this time I hope that the purple one is the right one. So same procedure as the last time, build up the trap, and as soon as the trap is built, lure the Kebbit and basically run away into the nearest bush. And this time we have the right color, it did 30k damage. So now I know all I need is 2 more traps with some purple Grenville spikes, and now you can see why it's dangerous having 2 of these Kebbits out here. So I take the second purple one. You can also see that his radius got a little bit bigger because he is damaged right now. This can be really annoying, or is really annoying actually, but yeah, it happens. And I think this encounter is actually a bit easier because he always runs in a circle, so it's a little bit more predictable than the Chinchompa. But on the other hand, he runs faster, and you really have to get a hang with the timing a bit. Because we also have to build, last but not least, the thing in the middle. And here you can see this is definitely way more annoying because he runs always in the middle somehow. So you always have to be a bit careful when you try to build this one. And basically just wait for the right angle, which is when he is on the south side, then you can build it in the north real quick. Perfect. Okay, and now, since again the traps are built with the right poison, we can now, yeah, start the same shit again. So I lure him, dive away instantly, and he will run into the trap and basically just take some free damage. Now we do the same again, and as soon as he runs here, I basically also position myself into the middle, because now he is at 0 health, so all I gotta do is put out the bait, and he is finally caught. And this was already the second encounter. Again, you can loot him at the end and get some juicy meat. Now we have the raw giant Kebbit meat and also some of the apex hides. And yeah, here again, you can now start the encounter again. I think I don't have the right meat now, simply because I don't have any more of the Chinchompa meat. But this was basically it. This is basically how these runs work. They are pretty simple, pretty easy to do. In terms of XP, it's hard to tell, but I think it's, yeah, about 300k, maybe a little bit more when you are more efficient hunting XP per hour. So not the best, but okay. And in terms of money, at the moment, it is pretty good. Because you can see that at the moment, these Kebbit meats, they sell for about 50k, I think. Let me just insta sell them all. As you can see, almost 50k, 49,300. And the apex hides are selling for about 130k, I think. Yeah, 140 even. And yesterday the prices were even higher, and the price of the raw Chinchompa meat is also at about 130k. So pretty insane money at the moment. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And then I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye!